to constitute to real estate.
Welcome back to Conan's Keys to Real Estate, unlocking Utah's real estate secrets, one key at a time. I'm your host, Ryan Conan, a full-time realtor at Real Broker, helping buyers and sellers in Twila and the Salt Lake Valley. In the last episode, we talked about building systems that keep your real estate life organized. Systems give you clarity, reduce mistakes, and create the structure that makes growth possible. Today, we take the next step and talk about scaling, specifically how to move from owning one property to owning two without creating financial pressure or lifestyle stress. A lot of owners and new investors want the second property, but they approach it emotionally or too aggressively. Smart scaling is not about speed, it is about stability, timing, and margin. The goal is not just to buy again, the goal is to buy again safely and sustainably. Why the second property is the most important jump. Going from 0 properties to 1 is a big milestone. Going from 1 to 2 is a big shift in responsibility. This is where your decisions start compounding. Cash flow, equity, debt load, and time commitment all change once you cross that line. The second property is where people either build momentum or create strain. When done right, property number 2 increases flexibility and long-term upside. When done wrong, it stretches finances, drains reserves, and adds stress to your daily life. This is why controlled scaling matters. You want your second property to strengthen your position, not test your survival. The readiness test before you scale. Before buying a second property, run a simple readiness test. First, reserves. Do you have cash reserves after closing, not just enough to close? A strong baseline is several months of total housing expenses across all properties. That includes mortgages, taxes, insurance, and expected maintenance. Second, stability of income. Is your income steady and predictable? Scaling during unstable income periods increases risk. Lenders look at this, but you should too. Third, system readiness. Do you have the tracking, document storage, and maintenance systems we discussed last episode? If one property already feels messy, 2 will feel overwhelming. Fourth, debt comfort. Not just debt ratios on paper, but your personal comfort level. If higher debt makes you lose sleep, scale slower. Real estate should support your life, not constantly stress it. Common scaling mistakes. One common mistake is buying the second property based only on approval amount. Just because a lender says you can does not mean you should. Approval is not the same as safety. Another mistake is using all available cash for the down payment and closing costs. That leaves no buffer for repairs, vacancy, or surprise expenses. Lack of reserves is one of the biggest causes of early investor burnout. A third mistake is assuming rent will perfectly cover everything. Early projections are often optimistic. Smart operators run conservative numbers and build in margin for error. A fourth mistake is lifestyle creep at the same time as scaling. Bigger car, more travel, more spending, plus another property payment creates pressure from multiple directions. Primary residence to rental strategy. One of the most powerful and practical scaling paths is turning your current home into a rental when you buy your next one. This is often called the convert and move strategy. Because owner-occupied loans usually have better terms, your first property may already be financed efficiently. If the area has solid rental demand and your payment is reasonable, converting it to a rental can be a strong move. Before doing this, run 3 checks. Rent reality check. Look at actual comparable rents, not best case guesses. Expense check. Include maintenance, vacancy, management if used, and higher repair frequency. Cash flow check. Make sure the numbers still work with conservative estimates. If the deal barely works on paper, it usually does not work in real life. Buying property 2, the smart way. When shopping for your second property, clarity of role matters. Know what job this property is supposed to do. Is it a cash flow play, an appreciation play, a low-cost living move like house hacking, a long-term hold in a strong area? When you know the role, your buying criteria becomes clearer and decisions get easier. Also, consider management load. A property that needs heavy renovation or constant oversight may not be ideal as your second property unless you have strong time availability and contractor relationships. Clean and stable often beats complicated and impressive at this stage. Time and energy reality. Scaling is not just financial, it is operational. 2 properties mean more decisions, more maintenance coordination, more communication, and more record keeping. Be honest about your time. If your schedule is already overloaded, build in support. That could mean a property manager, better contractor relationships, or tighter maintenance scheduling. Paying for help can protect your energy and prevent burnout. The goal is sustainable growth, not heroic overextension. A simple scenario comparison. Owner A buys a second property with minimal reserves and optimistic rent assumptions. Within the first year, they face a major repair and a short vacancy. Stress rises, credit tightens, and future growth stalls. Owner B buys with strong reserves, conservative rent numbers, and clear systems. A repair happens, but it is covered by reserves. The plan holds. Growth continues. The difference is not luck, it is preparation and margin, tying it all together. Scaling from one property to two is a turning point. Done with planning and margin, it increases flexibility and long term opportunity. Done too fast, it creates pressure and limits future choices. Your systems, reserves, financing structure, and time capacity all matter. Growth should feel controlled and intentional, not rushed and fragile. My final thoughts. The second property is not about proving you can grow, it is about proving you can grow responsibly. Patience here pays long term dividends. When you scale with reserves, realistic numbers, and clear roles for each property, you build momentum instead of risk. Think in terms of durability, not speed. Ask whether this next purchase makes your overall position stronger, more flexible, and more stable. If the answer is yes on all three, you are likely ready. If not, strengthen the foundation first. Real estate rewards disciplined moves far more than fast ones. In the next episode, we will talk about higher level house hacking strategies and how to reduce your personal housing cost while increasing property performance at the same time. This is Conan's Keys to Real Estate Unlocking Utah's Real Estate Secrets, one key at a time.